Tonight's tactical enhancement is a leprechaun with a slice of lime. Tonight we're playing Warhammer 8th edition, 2,000 points. It's looking a little bit scary. Okay, we've got my Wood Elves versus Mark's. Oh, I don't even know how to fucking start describing this.
A chaos board.
Talk us through what you've got.
So once again, it's not painted, but it will be soon. So I've got an Exalted Champion leading it. He's in a block of 17 warriors.
Right.
The only reason he's in there is because my trolls haven't arrived yet, because otherwise this would be full monster. 6 Dragon Ogres with great weapons. Battle Standard Bearer on a demonic mount. Chimera. 2 sets of dogs. A giant.
Look at the size of that fucking idiot.
Colex I need to model is standing in for a Dragon Ogre Shaggoth, because I bought a Shaggoth and it's actually about the same size as the new Dragon Ogres.
Right, just put him next to him just to show you.
He is not the same size as the new Dragon Ogres.
Oh my god almighty.
So he just needs to be touched up for printing. Another set of dogs and 5 horsemen with a musician and flails.
Right. And it's worth noting, we rolled up for terrain. I've done some new terrain lists, roll some dice, see what you get, and everything came up buildings. I haven't actually put the grass down on these building bases, but well, otherwise they're alright. All the trees had to come by the Wood Elf special rules and Acorn of the Ages. That's why I've got a massive tree shield, as Mark described it. And fuck me, I'm gonna need it. Okay, so on the Wood Elf side, they're hiding. They're all fucking hiding. We have 5 of the I forgot what they're called. The
Glade, or is it there? Or?
Waywatchers.
Waywatchers, that's the ones. This is from when I was doing my absolute damnedest to paint, so that's as good as my painting gets. Unit of 18 Glade Guard, full command, level 3 mage. I had to save a few points in order to get some other characters. 12 war dancers. I think it's 12. I'm going to check that. It might be 10. I'll have a look. 24 of the Eternal Guard with a standard bearer and another captain. The tree lady and another 18 of the Glade Guard. Hiding in there. Alright, so that's 2,000 points worth of woodies. For the spells, we've got Dwellers, which is nice, Regrowth, and the one that gives you +2 toughness. We're going to fucking need that as well, I reckon. Right, well the Wood Elves just rolled up turn 1. So we'll get a bit of shooting out, and we'll check in at the end of the Wood Elf turn 1 and see if we've actually managed to make a dent. End of Wood Elf first half of turn 1. We killed a grand total of 2 warriors, which is, yeah, well, I wasn't expecting a lot, but still. And the Waywatchers did nothing. And the Glade Guard unit over here took 3 wounds off of that giant, which isn't a bad start. A little underwhelming. I better do well in the second round of shooting, so I don't know if there's going to be a third. The second half of turn 1, the Chaos half, was as brief as it was downright scary. Nothing charged, but look how fucking close they all are after turn 1. I'm not sure if there's anything particularly intelligent I can do about this. I'll just have to brace for impact, I think, and then we'll see what we can do from there. Okay, so what I did in the movement phase is I shuffled up the war dancers. I'm not sure what they're going to do at this stage, but I think I better put them in place. And I moved these guys into the woods so that they can get all their attacks when the time comes. Now, I want to move the treeman around here to be a counter against that thing. Now, the flip side of that is, I actually don't know how that's going to go, but we'll find out. We put Flesh to Stone on the treeman, then we dropped Dwellers on these guys and killed 4. In the process, I killed 2 of my own fucking archers, which are 15 points each, and I took a wound off my mage, so yeah, swings and roundabouts. Then the shooting, we bumped off another 4. The Way Watchers, which are probably not fighting the best army for them today, but we didn't know which armies we were taking against each other when we set up. They did nothing. These fellows, however, took the last 3 wounds off the giant, and it is gone. Which is a shame, because it is the damn sexiest thing on the table. But it was also the only thing without armor, so I got rid of that fucker first chance I got. Now that's it, that's the first half of turn 2. We're now going into Chaos turn 2, and it's just going to be stacks on heavily armored beefcake, muscle cake motherfuckers against a bunch of wimpy pricks in tights. I don't think this bodes very well, to be honest, but we'll check in at the end of turn 2 and see if there's anything left. Okay, well the trees are doing more damage than my Wood Elves are at the moment. These chaps came barreling on in. The Way Watchers took a wound off of 1, which is about as much as they've done. The other wound markers you see here are from rolling 1s when crashing into the tree line as cavalry. The melee did a lot of hits but no damage, and the Way Watchers just got squished, as you'd really rather expect under the circumstances. I mean, look at that. Way Watchers are never going to last long against that. Then they crashed into the War Dancers, who don't give a flying fuck because they're immune to psychology. These Eternal Guard chaps did have to do a panic test for seeing what happened to the Way Watchers, but other than that, they're fine. So we're going to hold these guys up for another turn, I hope. Meanwhile, over here, look, this Shaggoth has lost 4 out of, 6 wounds all up? Most of which came from a flying fuckload of poison arrow shots on the way in. That's not too bad. We can finish this guy off. It did cost us all of the Way Watchers. Glade Guard, sorry. But on the other hand, the Glade Guard did take out a giant before bumping a bunch of wounds off of this guy, so it's not too bad. Now over here, these guys did their charge. They didn't make the distance, but you still get to shoot the charge reaction, even if they don't make it. So we bumped off another 4, which is all right. Now, it's a little bit amazing to me that we're still here, but we are still here. We're going to keep fighting and see if we can scrape through some survivors to go tell the village what happened. We'll check in at the end of, fuck me, it's only turn 3 for the Woodies. All right, Wood Elf turn 3. We upped the toughness on this tree dude here to 8, which is good. It charged in against Mr. Mighty here. The archers didn't do very well. They bumped off a couple, but we would like to have killed some more. We tried to cast Dwellers, it didn't work. Then we're stuck in the melee here. And look, the War Dancers did the dance with the 3+ ward save. Didn't roll very well, but they did stick around. There's a few of them left, and of course there's skirmishers in a forest, so they're stubborn. So they're still holding up this goddamn nightmare for another turn, which is good. It gives us a chance to do something somewhere. Oh god. In the melee over here, the tree dude did 1 wound against this fellow who's hanging on by 1 wound. The tree dude took 2 in return. Yeah, close. That battle's ongoing.
Can I just say that Mark hasn't rolled very well charging through terrain, so he could actually die if he wants to. There's a 1 in 6 chance he could actually die.
They're more likely to kill themselves, encountering a low-hanging branch than anything else at this point.
Stabby branch.
Yeah. Well, look, that was a turn mainly defined by melee, and we're still here. It's now turn 3 for the big muscle heads, and see how we go.
Yep.
Second half of turn 3 sees the carnage piling up. These guys tried to charge into this unit and didn't get there. They're sort of shuffling forward at the moment, and I know their frustration. I've had that problem before. The unit just won't make the charge. These guys polished off the last of the War Dancers, who did fuck all in return. This Shimmerer charged into these chaps. It took 3 wounds, mostly from my hero with the Ogre Blade, and polished off 8 of my Eternal Guard in reply. That hurt, but they're stubborn. They passed their leadership. They're still there. We'll see if that Ogre Blade can do its job this turn. Now over here, the tree man finally polished off that big bloke over there. It's worth noting it took that tree man 2 goes and he rolled very well this turn. And that thing had been softened up by multiple poison arrows and, I don't know, maybe a random tree branch or something. So it took quite a lot to kill it, but we got there. We'll now move into turn 4 for the Wood Elves and check in at the end of that. Turn 4 for the Woodies. They pumped out a lot of shot, lots of hits, killed off the last member of that unit. All that was left is this dude, and I'm just looking at him. Is he carrying around his own head?
He's carrying around an elf, actually.
He's carrying around an elf, but he's got no head.
He's got no head.
That's a problem with under construction armies, I suppose. Happens occasionally. He passed all his armor saves, so he's still there. He passed his panic. Now that all his friends have been killed around him, he might actually charge something this turn. We'll see how he goes. Did a bit of magic. We regenerated a few wounds on this unit here. Then we buffed their toughness up to 8, which is good, because the Shimmerer piled on its attacks. They rolled 1s and 2s all over the place for wounds, so he nearly killed one. Conversely, he just went bonkers on his regen saves, and he just soaked up a lot of hits in return. Over here, the tree person charged into a pack of dogs, killed 4 of them, the last one scarpered, but the overrun was not quite enough to get in the flank of these chaps, which is really not what I wanted. I really wanted to hit them hard. Still, it's on for young and old. Let's see how the Chaos turn 4 goes. Chaos turn 4. It's coming down to the crunch, and it really is a crunch. Lucky I brought some of these fellas back, because rather a lot of them got killed. They're still stubborn though, so they survived. They've reformed post melee. Oh, what a fucking bloodbath. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get myself out of this. We're going to have a crack. I'm deciding what to do with my archers. Well, I think it's turn 5 for the Wood Elves, and we will check in after that. Yeah, it's worth knowing the general finally got in combat. Killed one guy. Oh, we did kill the Shimmerer. It took everything we could physically throw at it to do it. The bastard was doing his ward save, his regen saves like I couldn't believe, but it's dead now. Just in time for everything else to be stacks on.
How many points was the general?
Oh, 250.
So the general, ready for this? The general's 250 points and he did 1 wound.
Yeah, I think he just killed 11 points worth of dude. Alright, we'll check in a second. It's funny when you receive more damage in your own turn than the other guy's turn. That was a Wood Elf turn 5. These guys did a march. They passed the morale to march on up close, and they just got on the flank so they can't get hit. That is the correct angle. So if these guys break through, they can't get hit. Mage is back here hiding in the trees. Tree dude crashed into the back of these chaps. Actually did a fair bit of damage. They had a wound or 2 left over before, so he bumped one off. This rather hideous chaos spawn is what happens when the unit champion has some mark. That means he's got to do a roll every time he wins a fucking challenge against the champion. He rolled double 1 and turned into a chaos spawn.
No, you double 1 and then you had to roll again.
Oh yeah, then you have to do a leadership test.
And he failed his leadership test.
Badly. So he's fucked. We bumped off most of them rolled a horseman.
He has to still take a break test as well.
I'll check that in a sec. Yeah, the problem is we lost rather a lot of guys, and of course it's not my magic phase next, so that unit's not looking too happy right now. That said, we'll do Chaos turn 5 and we'll see if there's anything left of my army at the end of it. Okay, it's coming down to the wire. The Eternal Guard and the 2 characters in the unit are dead to a elf. This chap's reformed. You'll no doubt charge into something next turn, and these lot have reformed onto the treeman. Treeman is being stubborn, means he sticks around. Ugh, it's all a bit ugly. It's turn 6. I'm hoping for a tie at this point. I don't think a win's going to happen. But I might get more arse than class out of this and get a tie. See how we go. The turns are getting shorter and shorter. These guys piled all their poison attacks on him and did nothing. They didn't really have to move to do that either. These dudes had reformed onto the treeman at the end of last turn and completely failed to wound the spawn, and the spawn did a wound to the treeman, which was weird, but the attacks back from the treeman did bump off another one of these, what the hell are they called?
Dragon ogres.
Dragon ogres, and they got a surplus wound. Oh, can't that fine. I don't think I've won a single combat against these guys. I just keep surviving the fact that I'm losing. Anyway, we're into the final turn of turn 6. It's the cow's turn. Let's see what happens. Righto, well, it's the end of game. We think it's a tie. We're going to do the math in a minute. The Dragon Ogre unit's just been removed, but they were still here, still pumping out attacks. The Tree Man survived. I had to keep buffing him with extra toughness and with extra and recovering his wounds. But he stuck around. The Life Mage did his job. Yeah, so the general charged into these chaps here. They shot him up a little bit, took a wound off, but that was it. And then a pack of dogs charged into these guys here, and they killed them all in the melee. You can't underestimate elves, even bog standard unarmored elves with pointy little knives. Still throw out a fuckload of attacks against low toughness unarmored guys. So, in terms of what's left, we've got a treeman, a unit of archers in reasonably good nick, and a mage. That's it. In terms of, which is what, 3, 4, 5, oh god, I need the mass on this. We have 285, that's 585, 6, 7, 805 points left on the table. Minus, you know, some extra points losing the battle standard bearer. Oh god almighty, that's my casualty pile. Fucking hell, that's bad.
So how does the points work, Chris? You do the whole unit or what?
Yeah, so full unit by full unit, so partial units don't matter.
Okay, so I still have 430 on the characters. Warhounds are gone, horsemen are gone. 437, 30, 900.
So you got 900 points left.
Mm-hmm.
So the difference is less than 100, although we throw in some extra for a couple of standards gone, including the army standard. But we both have
so
our
how many
generals.
points do you get for army standard?
I can't remember. It might be 25, it might be 100.
Oh, okay.
The key thing though is in order to get a definitive victory, you have to double the other guy's victory points.
Right.
The difference is in the less than 200 mark in a 2,000 point game.
Yeah.
That's close.
It is.
What have we learned?
Monster armies are fun. Tree shields suck.
Yep.
Tree shields fully suck. I think the trees were the key.
Acorn of the Ages for the win.
Yeah.
I have to say, the armies had a tie, the trees had a victory. If it had not been for these forests, I would have been absolute toast in turn 3. Because the forests gave me rerolls 1 to wound. What else did they give me? Oh,
Stubborn, the extra rank in shooting, the extra rank in poking.
Shooting, extra range in melee. Yeah, it wasn't anything definitive because the stubborn came from something else, but it's bits at a time, which slowly chipped away. And that extra wound here and there bumped off all monsters.
+1 for casting because you won a couple of casts on a +1.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So the forests were good. No, it's fun.
Well, I'm astounded that I actually fucking survived, although the casualty pile's perhaps not so surprising. And it was fun just to see this huge monster mash come in and actually have to fight its way through.
That's good.
Wow, that was a blast.
That was awesome. Well, I'm going to have to rush because
Yeah, it's just pumpkin o'clock.
it is coming to the fucking witching hour, mate.
Alright, well, thanks for watching, folks. Like, comment, subscribe, etc. Time to call it a night.